Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see you on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet you cool.
And sneak it on.
Welcome back to the Lost Minds podcast. We were on a brief vacation. Brick, how's your vacation? What did you do?
Pretty good. I guess we gotta describe it for the listeners because it's a Utah holiday. People
Oh, it
always
is.
like
July
the
24th.
Yeah, what
Yep.
is that?
It's Pioneer Day.
It's basically the 4th of July moved to 24th.
It's the second 4th of July day here in Utah.
Right now.
I noticed that too. Like with America, we're like so funny because we'll have our holiday. Oh, it's 4th of July or whatever coming up. No other countries give a shit about that, and so like you look at the plays and people are still like kind of going, and you're like most of the time like Japan and stuff.
My eyes are getting all watery. I don't know why.
We were talking about it earlier, where everyone talks about the powers of three, and Admir took 2 shots, one for his soul, one for his body, but not for his mind. So he's crying.
No, I divide those 2 into 3.
It's at 2/3.
So anyway, Pioneer Day. What is it? How did it become?
That was
no
the
idea.
day that Utah became a state, right? Is that what it was?
I have no idea.
I think it was. It was like Utah was supposed to become a state, but I went down and took photos of the parade and stuff like that. And it made a
Oh
little
yeah,
video.
you can go on Brick's Instagram at brick, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. And Brick on YouTube, and I don't know. It was really cool because like maybe just because I always kept cracking about the Mitch Hedberg jokes where if it's boring, parade's boring, you can just walk in front of it and it fast forwards it, or if you like the piece, you can walk backwards and it rewinds it. And so I was doing that shit. I'm like, oh, dude, I was like running up the street, fucking went in, got a coffee, went back down the street, didn't miss a beat, And then when I took the photos, in the video it's funny I talk about it because like if you just throw on like a name badge or if you depending on the area.
Vest.
So this area was because there was a lot of people around. I just threw on a fake name badge. It had my brother's name on it. It said like Leadership Institute. Didn't even have it. I'm going to print out fake credentials and I'm just going to take that shit all over the place.
Yeah.
But I did it at the parade, dude. And people at first they were like, "Hey, what's up? What are those for? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just taking photos." I put the name badge on.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking people are posing in front of me, fucking, like giving me the thumbs up and shit. I'm like in the middle of the parade, dude. I was like taking pictures of the cops. They're like,
You're
fucking,
stopping them.
Yeah.
You're stopping the whole thing.
Dude, that reminds me of
The
this.
cop photos were tight. I'd love to do like a series of like fucking cops flexing and shit,
Sexy
dude,
cop
on the
man.
streets, or like how
Calendar.
just how we did like with your cars, and the guy was on the side, and the other cop was like fucking chilling there. I'm like, dude, I'd love to do call it like the beat of the city, or some shit like that, where they're like on
That would be
patrol.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Do
it'd be sick.
different stations or whatever,
Yeah,
like
'cause they had the
Unified,
highway
West Valley,
patrol.
South Jordan police departments. There's different police departments.
Yeah,
I'd
what-
like to do that. That'd
yeah,
be cool.
Who has the sexiest police department? You know what I'm saying?
West Valley, dude.
You gotta.
100%.
You
I
have
see what
to
you're
know
saying.
these things.
West Valley, dude.
They're
They're
just
super
going
gritty.
unattested, and it's not right.
See
We
that?
need to know.
That'd be a bonus one, the fucking sexy man calendar, like how they do the firemen and shit.
Uh-huh.
They're like, man in uniform. For some reason, dude, yeah, I don't know what it is, man in uniform. People enjoy that, but
If you need a man in uniform, dude, I'm your guy. Man, I'll just get in a uniform. I'm like, what's up? What do you want? Construction worker?
great.
Cop?
That's the other thing. If you were,
Crane operator?
depending on the area you're in, dude, like, so you say this is a big event, because I went back to the farmer's market, and I did the same shit, like, I ended up meeting up snow, and
Farmer?
I was taking photos, and people were like, oh, what's that for? What's that for? Blah, blah, blah. I put that same name badge on, dude, and it's like...
People stopped
switches.
asking?
People, yeah, they think, like, they start posing, like, they think that the only one lady asked and stuff like that, and she's like, oh, is this for City Weekly? Can I say something? And I was like, oh, it's just mainly photos. And I was like...
You should have let her say something.
I know.
And just be like, I'm going to post this on the front page. That was a great quote.
I was like, this is really good, because I was filming
Wait,
a
what
little
was your
bit.
badge again? I'm a little fucked up.
It was
It
Oliver.
just said my brother's name on it, and it said, like, Leadership Institute, but it has, like... It's in a little those like plastic covers that you'd see, which would be like a backstage traditional backstage.
You have a
pass.
back.
Oh,
if
like
you
a
have
press
a
pass.
plastic
Yeah.
cover,
Pretty
you're
much.
in. You're in.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
that's
true.
like when we worked for PDR. Would you ever work for that company? The
Oh, no,
installation?
No, I didn't do that. No.
Dude, so we started working there, and one of the top salesmen who's making fucking mad money. He was only like 18 or something. The way he was doing it is he went around, he bought a fucking hard hat from NPS, one of those white ones. Bought one of those and a vest, one of those reflection vests. And all he did was put a name tag on, and he went from house to house. Every house he went to, they accepted it. Even the ones that were saying, like, no soliciting or fuck yourself, guys waiting for you at the door with a shotgun. Everybody accepted it. Yeah. They were all like, we'll do the installation. We'll do the installation. Because
if you have that vest on and you don't have anything underneath it,
yeah,
you're good.
Because they didn't see him as a businessman. They seen him as a blue-collar worker.
American,
yeah,
going through it.
So, like, when he'd walk up to the front door with the vest on, and me, I don't know who else was with me. I think it was Zach. We did the experiment. We went and bought those vests, and we'd drive around in that truck, and we would do, like, probe.
So what were you guys wearing before that?
Just regular clothes, regular street clothes.
Fuck that. I ain't going to let you in my house. Get the fuck out of here.
No, the sales guys,
yeah.
No, the sales guys,
I'm gonna spray some shit into your attic.
No, the sales guys, they'd wear like suits and stuff, like fancy clothes, and the people would tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah, that kid showed up in blue jeans, a t-shirt with that vest on, and a hard hat, and he had
rub a little
measure
mud on your face.
Yeah, he had like a tape measure on and like some other crap, and he would show up, and every house he went to, he got a sales.
Hell yeah!
So then me and Zach did it, and what we would do is we would put those vests on too. We'd bomb them like $3 at NPS or something, and those hard hats, and we'd show up to the house, and the people would greet us like, dude, we were gods. They'd just be like, go up in the attic and do your thing. And we're like, okay. But any house we showed up without our vests on, people would question us. They'd be like, who the fuck are you? What are you here for? What are you doing? And we're just like, dude, what the fuck? So if you dress the part, doesn't matter if you are the part or
fake
not.
Fake it till you make it, all right?
You fake it till
this
you make it.
This is what you do. What you do is you get a pimp suit.
You want to buy yourself
you
a Crown
walk down the
Vic.
street, and you just slap hose.
You're like, what are you doing?
Next thing you know, wham, you got a freaking duck goose going.
You get him with the
trail
what
of
are you
little
doing?
ducklings
Like,
going.
what are you doing? You like put your hand out and you start baby powdering it. Okay, now what are you really doing? You know, good evening. You just walk off. It's funny that you say that though, because I that's where I got the idea of the name badge too. Is like I remember when I used to do electrical work. I usually, I would.
Should we be telling people this?
Yeah,
Everybody already knows. 90% of the people that listen to this aren't going to do it.
That's true.
And plus, this is what you get when you listen to Lost Minds podcast. You get a little extra.
You get a little flavor.
You get a little sauce, huh?
Yep.
Fucking. And so, like, bam. Because I remember doing electrical work, and one time, so once I finally got my work truck.
First time I ever did it.
One of the first times I ever went out, and I ended up doing it. I had the people, this sign company already installed the signs on the side of the building, and I brought a truck with a lift. So I guess maybe that makes sense. And I had to get on top of the building. It was a man killer ladder. So it's like a 30-foot ladder. So it wasn't even the lift.
A man killer ladder.
They call it the man killer because it's high enough that you will fall past terminal velocities and like
You'll
die or whatever.
No.
And so like we'd prop it up on the, it was very hard. And so like we'd prop it up on the building. And I remember like going up there, I'd have my headphones on and like tool bags. And that time I went through and did the entire thing. Went down back to the place. It was a baby.
Inside the building?
Both inside and outside, because you have to kind of go around and like install the back of the sign and take it to the panel and shit. And I'm piping shit, and so it kind of makes sense. And at the end, I walk over to the guy, and so it was like a baby supply place. So there's a bunch of people, and so I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna look like the person that should be buying that shit. And going there, and the guy, I go to take him I wrote down all the material, time material, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yo, man, this is the thing. This is where you finish it up. I just got to get you sign it and just go over it. And the guy looks at it and he's like, man. And I was like, fuck, dude, he's going to be pissed about the pricing on this. I was like, fuck it. You know, I don't know. It's one of my first jobs I'd started doing as like a journeyman. And he's like, man, fuck, man. I was so confused why you were up there. And I was like, what? And so I was like, he's like, you're just like, I didn't think to bug you or nothing because you were just like doing your thing. You know, you had your tools out. You were probably jamming out or whatever. And I was like, oh, he's doing something. But I was like, why is that kid out in our building? And I was like, you never thought to come up and ask me like what you're doing.
Well, the C4's planted. Are we getting out of here?
And I always thought that
Jet
was
fuel
funny.
melt still, babes.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because I remember joking about that with one of my journeymen. I'm like, dude, I bet if we put our tool belt on and just walk in, I'm like, if we even ask people, hey, can you let us in? They'll let us in the doors. And he's like, all right, because we didn't think about checking in.
If you look the part, dude, they'll let you in.
Everybody was letting us in, dude. I'm like, we could have, It reminded me of Hitman. So, like, that's how I think of, like, with the fucking thing. Almost like Hitman. Like,
it doesn't fit. It's all too tight.
yeah, or you put on someone's clothes, you walk in there, and you're like, dude, no one's that fucking dumb. They're going to think that I'm not a worker here. Mm-hmm. You'll be fucking surprised, dude. People are fucking dumb. Not dumb, but, like, I would do the same thing if I was working there. I'd be like, all right, whatever, you know.
Oh, it's a chef? All right,
if you're doing it, too, you know, like, oh, I got to get up on the roof and do some work or whatever. So you sneak up there, do photos, and you're up on the roof. Well, they're up on the roof. They have tools and whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. Like,
so what you're telling me is, if you get a toolbox and you put your camera gear in it, and it looks like a toolbox for your drill tools, and you have your tool belt on, and you walk up, no one's going to know.
The ultimate trick is that you want to look like you don't want to be there.
yeah, it's so true. That is
Because if you show up and you're like, "Hey, everybody, I'm here to do your..." No, you're not. It's like you hate life. You don't want to work. You just want to get the fucking lights done, and you want to get the fuck out. That is
really, and then also too, I imagine, like on top of that, now if you're saying that, I feel like maybe be a little aggressive. So like, what are you doing up there?
Exactly.
You want cable or not, bitch? Well, I guess not. Bitch. You want cable? Okay, because that's what I'm fixing. You know, I'm over here on my Saturday night. What's that camera for? For incriminating people like you. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, dude, I'm
trying to sexual harass me?
I guarantee if I put a tool belt on, I could... Because, like, I was doing a job over at, kind of on the corner of Eaglegate and stuff where, like, the apostles are, the prophets, where they live or whatever. It's that little restaurant where they have a huge area where they have all the LDS office buildings.
Yeah.
And I remember going there one early morning and doing the same thing, getting a tool belt. We had to run some lines down for the new AC units and stuff on the very, very top of the roof. Just go up there and stuff. Maybe the guy had recognized me. I don't know. But I'm up on the roof doing whatever, going there, you know, go downstairs.
Recognize you from church the previous Sunday?
Or maybe just being in there. But, like, dude, they never hassled me. And these security guards, like, they have, like, a little magnet that's... On a lot of these buildings that I've worked in, they have, like, a magnet in certain areas. And they walk by with this, like, fucking lightsaber. And they, like, stick it to the magnet. And inside the thing, it tells them that they've touched that zone. And they have to do it within the hour. So they have to make sure they're walking around.
Oh, God.
So the guy comes up, hey... touches the thing, walks down.
Oh,
like,
someone
hey.
already was here, so
Yeah,
that means
like,
that you're good.
That could have been like, dude, yeah, like you're saying, planting the C4, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing up here? Wait, I'm supposed to kill the guy that's on top of the thing? And who are you killing? I'll be like, I'm killing the bus driver, dude. The fucking bus driver chops off a fucking, I guess it's like Fortnite, crashes the plane. That's the guy I gotta kill.
I'm so confused right now.
That's off of Joker, the Batman
The
and
Dark
the Joker.
Knight.
Okay, I'm like
Dark
so
Knight.
lost. I was like,
Sorry,
should I
yeah,
just
it's
be
like-
quiet and not say nothing?
Because like when the guy's like, wait a minute, he's like, if I'm supposed to kill him, then you're supposed to kill me. And he's like, nuh-uh, dude, I killed the bus driver. And he's like, what? And he's like, squishes him. And then he's like, shoots the bus driver. Dude, the Joker's like one of the best. Like, that's why I've always wanted to kind of do a heist, I guess. But like, the Joker's like such a
You just
good
play
at
some
planning,
Grand
dude.
Theft Auto 5, dude.
Dude, that's what like Denny was talking to me about, how they were doing all their things and stuff, and he's like, man, it's so hard. And there's a part where we were watching a video where the guy was like driving his little thing out and like crashed his car in the water, and they're like, get him, and he's like, he's swimming back over. And I was like, dude, you just gotta have like a guy with a boat right there, and you know, I'm like, because the guy went into an area, dropped a fucking person off in the thing, and they took off, and all the cops followed him, and the person was still inside the little room. And so they're like, hey, there's a suspect. There's only one person in, because it's the roleplay one. I should alliterate.
It is a role play.
So there's the Grand Theft Auto, and you can like play the game, and then there's like a mod you can download where you straight up have to live real life. You have to, if you want to be a cop, you have to go on ride-alongs. You have to like learn the lingo. If you want to, you have a number of jobs you can pick up. So people will pick up like selling drugs for good money. Some people will be like whatever for good money. And if you do something illegal, then the cops chase you like real life. And so sometimes you have to say in the server like, hey man, I'm gonna there's 4 vehicles with guns and we're going to a place. And so you kind of like let them know that you're gonna like be doing something, and you can go do a heist and go do a heist. And I was like, dude, all you gotta do is like fucking have that person fly in the water and the other person with a boat, and then take that fucking person. And what are the cops gonna do? They're not gonna catch that person. And you start planning out this heist, and yeah, it was funny because Danny's like, well, we don't have a boat, and fuck that, I'll just rather drive, you know. And I'm like, you gotta do the heist, man.
Dude, I
You
was
gotta think
telling-
like Joker.
It's too easy.
I was telling him that too. I'm like, dude, because I used to play this game called, it was like Arma Life, which was Altus Life. Same thing, same premise. There's people who roleplay cops, there's people who roleplay bandits, and there's people who roleplay, you know, guys who go and build houses or whatever, and they get paid a certain amount of money every day, and that's their living.
You can roleplay being a construction worker?
Yeah, you can roleplay being anything.
What?
Dude, Denny was like, dude, if you take the EMT class, it's like 30 minutes, and then you have to do a ride along, and he's like, I hear it's good money. And I was like, I looked over at him.
Yeah, and you could be,
like,
yeah,
what?
and you could be, you could
God.
play as a stupid EMT, or you and your buddies can get together and be like, all right, Brick, we're gonna all get all our starting money together, which is like $1,000. I'll give it to you. You buy a fucking SUV. Because the SUV is expensive, so you buy the SUV. We're gonna take the SUV. We're gonna fucking run over a cop.
An SUV, that's not bad.
It depends, whatever, That's just an example, because this is what we did in Alti's life. We gave all our starting money to one guy. That one guy bought a truck, which usually you got to like run and gather some marijuana or whatever and then sell it, and it takes a minute to earn that truck. But a group of us would get together. We'd all give our starting money to one guy. The one guy would automatically get that truck, which would boost us to like the next tier level of like gathering shit. And then we would go with that one truck and keep gathering. And everything that we would save, like let's say we collected marijuana plants and we sold it, every single one of us would sell on a street corner. We'd give it to one guy. Like Brick would be our one
pimp.
dude. In a sense, yeah. And then he would take that money and upgrade our vehicle to something better. Like let's say a helicopter. Now, all of us are, instead of driving around in a truck, we'd all be driving around in a helicopter. And we're using this helicopter to gather those same materials quicker. Now we'd be making more money and more money and more money until, boom, we get an attack helicopter. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 more of those things with the 2 helicopters. When we save up enough money to get all of us assault rifles, like fully automatic rifles, boom, we're going to do a bank job. But this bank job, the way it's going to work is, Brick, you're going to sit in the helicopter. The rest of us are going to sit in that Humvee. We're going to roll up to the bank. We're going to fucking open up the doors. And we're going to steal the money. We're going to wait in the bank for the cops to show up. When the cops show up and they start negotiating with us, that's when Brick pulls out the attack helicopter. Fucking mows every motherfucker down. Just everybody's dead on the street. We walk out, get in the SUV. The very first car we bought, we drive out of there. Anybody that follows us, Brick's following us with the attack helicopter. Mows these motherfuckers down. We make it to the harbor. We transfer the money, whatever, Boom, we get a big payout. Guess what? Now we have 6 attack helicopters.
See, that's...
We own the city. That's what we used to do in this Arma game, is we made so much money, like the high-end vehicles that people would dream about buying, we would spawn and spawn and spawn, and people think we were cheating because they cost like $6 million and a normal person couldn't have more than $100K. Our vehicle gets blown out of the sky. Guess what? We got another attack helicopter waiting for you in the sky. And it's like, they're like, how the fuck do these guys have these attack helicopters? And it's like, another one. A fuck another one. Another one.
DJ Khaled, I like it.
And then next thing you know, this server with
another one.
This server with like 60 people is down to 6, just us, because we fucking destroyed everybody. Nobody could come into the town. And it's like, that's just what happens. You got to play this game. You got to be a goddamn kingpin. And that kingpin isn't one person. It's fucking 8 people, and you're working together to make the mad money. Like, yeah, there's people role-playing cops.
There has to be one pimp.
No.
Yeah.
The way
It
to
has
make
to
it
be
work
one
is
pimp.
all 8 of you work together. So if you want to spend that $6 million,
But who gets
that
the money at the end of the day?
all of you.
The pimp.
No, all of you get the
pimp
money.
does.
There's one guy who holds the money, but like,
Yeah.
like if I wanted if I wanted the money, like if I was like Brick,
Spoken like a true bottom bitch,
Yeah.
right?
you know, if I was like,
No, it's reliable.
If I was
It's
the
a
guy holding
reliable
the money,
bottom bitch.
if I was the guy holding the money, and I was like, and Brick's like, I want half of it to buy a fucking tank. You get half of it to buy a fucking tank.
What if he's like, hey, but you ain't tricking out, no, from you.
I mean, last
if you
mission, you were very,
You get half
didn't
this
help
tank, what am I going to get? Am I going to get half that tank as well? Are you going to give me a track or two? What?
What's going on here? I need to make some money back.
And that's what I found fun about that game, because like when Denny was like, we're going to put a heist on that thing, I'm like, because we were watching a video of the people do it, and because I kind of, I don't, if I were to game, I'd probably be too much into it, but like I kind of enjoy it still, and so I was like, oh, watch it, man, I'll see what they do. So he's like showing me the little video of him doing it, and dude, it was so funny, because like the one area they were trying to rob, he's like, yeah, we're going to do that same thing too. You tell them, hey, yeah, we're guys moving towards the gun, and at the server or whatever, guys with guns are moving to the place, and so like, oh man, they're going to do something. I'm like, dude, why don't you like park 2 fucking cars right there, and the cops come driving down the road, they're gonna be stuck, and then you're gonna wait your 5 minutes, and then fucking both you guys got your bolt bikes, fucking zip out of the building, dude. Like they'd have no. He's like, I'm like, plan something. we're just gonna rob the place, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not how it works, man.
Yeah, you got to plan it. You got to plan it ahead. You got to be like, how the fuck are we going to get out of here? And you have to have a fall guy. There always has to be a fall guy. The dude that has no money, that gives you all his money. It's like, if I die or if I lose, what's the worst I lose? A vehicle?
Yeah, I could
Boom.
respawn.
Whatever,
This
I
isn't
can
real
respawn.
life.
This isn't real life, dude.
That's the issue with any type of crimes when you hear about people like when I was listening to this.
Can't have a fall guy?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like when it got there, I forgot what the fuck he was, a DEA agent or something. But it was on a podcast, and he was like, "Describe your heist or your crime, and I'll tell you if I'll catch you." And he's like, I'll probably catch you, and he'll probably catch you. And I'm like, this guy's pompous, dude. He's fucking being a little, oh, I'd catch you, I'd catch you. And then when he got to the end, he's like, the reason I feel like I'd catch all these people is well, me and my buddy are gonna do this. Well, me and my friend are gonna.
Yeah,
do
you
this.
can't have any
And
accomplices.
he's like, you can't have accomplice. He's like, the less strings, the
no,
harder
dude,
it is.
you gotta
dude.
shoot someone in the face afterwards.
So that's
You gotta
your
be like,
fall
hey.
guy. You have him. What? There's a guy on the ground.
No, you got to have a guy strapped with
Wasted.
C4, dude, fighting off the cops while everyone else is getting away on their bullet
Well,
bikes.
it's not even that
He's just sitting there.
that you'll snitch.
Yo, on one of the videos I watched, this fucking guy, the one where he like dropped the girl off. It was a girl. He dropped the girl off in the vehicle on the place, and they all took off, and all the cops went after him again. And I was like, that's where the girl needs to run. Get on the boat, fucking meet the guy, and then he drives off the pier and gets in the boat. They would never have caught his ass, because that's like they're like, if you drive fast enough, the cops will just put a beat on you, and they won't even chase you because they can't catch you. So I'm like, dude, they won't even get you, dude. Just fucking go. And the guy that he ends up like driving over there doesn't get stuck or whatever, or he drives in there, gets crashed, runs over because it happened to be kind of a place they were at, takes the car that the other girl was in when they hopped in their car, just takes off down the street. It runs out of gas because you have to get gas, and fucking he parks, and the guy's like, the cops, they are straight up like real cops. So he's like, all right, dude, I got a 1087. He came in, and we had two eyes on another suspect. It was a female. Long hair, or it was like long sleeve shirt, black, long pants, black, and he's like just average. And the guy in the car is like, don't forget black hair, dude. She screwed me over too. She's got black hair. I wish I knew her name. We don't take names on the thing. The guy's ratting her out, dude, in the cop car. And it was the dude there with the alias, or whatever. And I'm like, bitch, shit, like that's why the loose ends just got to be. And I feel like
That's when he's sitting in the
an
car.
honorable
50 cal rips through the cop car and kills the dude.
It's
She's
like
on
the
roof.
honorable loose end, though. When you're like, you're sitting there and the guy's wounded and they're like dragging their foot and they're like, "Give me those grenades, fucking go! I'm gonna fucking waste these fools." And you turn around, and then people get away, and all of a sudden, the guy grenaded himself, grenaded out half the crew. It's called honorable, because
An
you
honorable loose end.
Because, dude, when you know you're the
The thing that sucks is it's social media and just in real life is you have way more loose ends than you think. Even if someone won't snitch on you, they can just look at your past pictures and shit and be like, oh, he hangs out with this guy and this guy.
Oh,
Let's go talk to him. And then Brick's like, shit. And then all they have to say is, yeah, Admir told us that you guys were going to rob a bank. That son of a bitch!
that guy.
And then you go to jail.
Which is kind of true, because that's the whole reason why you can't delete your Facebook. I mean, disable. Because they have like that contract with the police where it's their identifying unit, and so it's like,
That's why before you delete your Facebook, you got to unfriend all your friends. You got to remove all your images. You got to remove all your data so your thing is right back to day one, and then you disable it.
that's true.
That way you have no connections to anybody.
I always bring that.
Then you
story
look
up,
like a
too.
weirdo when you re-friend somebody that you haven't friended in 6 years.
Yeah, they're like, why'd they end me? But when you think about it, like there was a people in when IKEA first came in, those people ended up going through IKEA and they seen their family photo
Ooh,
show up
sorry.
on there. So there were these like pictures of their family photos, and they're like, what the fuck? These people got our family photo? What the hell? And they come to find out that like Facebook, within their term of agreement, anything you post on Facebook is up for Facebook.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
public lands.
Yeah, and so people were pulling that shit off, and the only way you can make it not be is if you deleted it completely off Facebook, even though it's not completely deleted, but with it not being on Facebook.
So wait, what did
can't
you
have
just
those
say?
clauses.
If anything you post on Facebook is public,
Is Facebook's property, and Instagram too, because Instagram is now taken over. So if you ever see, like, if I ever see one of my Instagram photos on some website, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude, this person stole my photo, and I went through, and they're like, no, I didn't know I went through it. They won't even have like I don't even think it's a stock agency, because I sell like different stock agencies. It'll be an agency that is a Facebook affiliate, where anything that is on Instagram or Facebook, and you become an agency or affiliation with them, by law, they can just
do whatever they
do
want.
whatever they want with
Yep.
you. A photo of you and your family, of your fucking photo of you, and the
Butt
starry
naked.
mountains.
Yep.
Yeah, you butt naked. Don't matter, you know.
They can just post it on anywhere they want.
Yeah, pretty much. And so the only way you can get rid of
Start
that
posting
is
some
like deleting
pictures.
it off. And that's where it became.
Some time.
It's so funny because that was like where they went. I guess the Instagram apocalypse, where everyone was like, "I'm deleting my accounts. Oh my god, Facebook." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No,
and it was
they're
like,
not.
bitches, you all fucking agreed to it with Facebook. It's all they have the right to sell your photo. When have they not? You know, it's like people are just like, "This is outrage," and then next thing you know, flips over. Business as usual. No one
It's an
gives a
outrage
fuck.
because people want money for their pictures that other people. So, like, let's say I'm the company, right? And you're the postee, and you post a picture, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna use my contacts to sell this picture that you posted of the sunset or whatever. Now I make $100 off your picture. You're mad because I made $100, but you didn't take the time to invest to find somebody to buy that picture.
It's true.
So it's like, I want that $100, but I did all the work. I have a contact. I have a people spreading this picture. I'm the company. I have the servers. I'm the one storing your picture. I'm the one posting your picture.
Yeah.
All you did was upload it. You didn't do anything else. If you took a picture with your camera and you posted it to your website, which is what?
BrickAnderson.com.
BrickAnderson.com. And
HTTP.
somebody goes on your website and they go to BrickAnderson.com and they find the sunset and they buy it from there. Guess who can't have that money? I can't have that money. The money goes to you.
Facebook.
But if you post your picture on my website, and our contract agreement is that if you post your shit on my website, I could find people to sell it to, I get the money.
And it's funny because
That's where the outrage is coming from.
It's the truth though, because I had like posted a photo that it's funny. I took a few beach photos when I was living in California, and they had them online, and so they are on my profile. And I took them with my camera, and I didn't think much of it because when I first kind of was starting out. And then only like last year I've uploaded these photos to like stock websites and stuff. This is my most popular by far. Like it makes me the most money, and I'm like, dude, this thing I took 5 years ago, plus 6-7 years ago, you know. And I mean I've had it on different things and never done whatever, and like barely put it on the stock photo, and all of a sudden people are buying it. I'm like, this is so fucking weird. One, you don't know what people want, you know, and so the other people in other countries buying it. But I'm like, man, this thing is set in my camera for years, set in my memory for years. It's set on a website, Facebook, you know. For all I know, Facebook's probably like connecting the dots. Oh, you need something that says Carlsbad Beach right here. You know, we got one for you. Bam. 'Cause that's what I imagine when I look at the keywords that pop up the most is Carlsbad,
Yeah.
Carlsbad. And I was like, dude, people.
Isn't that the beach we went to?
Yeah, that's where I used to live. And so like,
Why is that beach so popular?
I don't know. I mean,
It's actually, I don't know. I think it's really nice.
oh,
honestly.
I do know.
Compared to Venice.
Yeah, I'll
Way
agree with
nicer.
that too. Like Carlsbad, I mean, Oceanside and Carlsbad is like, I miss that place. I'd love to go back there. One of the things too, though, is at certain points of the year they have like I only seen it one time and barely little, and the guy's like, "Man, you got to come back on a good year," because we went out to the pier and they have like that weird algae that's like in
Green algae?
it's some other I can't remember where else, but it like glows like neon blue. So like at night when the waves are crashing in the white areas where the white water waves would be, it's like fucking neon blue. And you're like,
That's
what
badass.
the fuck? It's trippy, dude. It doesn't seem like real life.
It isn't real life. We live in a simulation.
It seriously is. You're like, dude, the blue pill or red pill's like rendering right here or something. Like I don't get it, but it's a trip. And then you know they're like, oh man, you got to come back on. So I would have loved to see it on some good seasons because I was only there for like.
That would have
2
been cool to
seasons.
do like an exposure picture. That would have been cool.
Fuck yeah, dude! And that's the part that's like you never know, and I mean that's the part with the picture too. As always, because like you know I can say the same thing where if you need to call your friends over, you know you can have 1 million friends clean your house, but you can't have 1 million friends take your photos. But at the same time, nowadays I believe technically you could. You know, I'm like, dude, most of the photos I take on my Instagram are all of my phone anyways. You know, and so I mean I can do some better ones. But with the power of your phone, and like my phone's my favorite camera by far because I happen to have it in my pocket all the
yeah.
time, ready to go. Quick snapshot. And that's like with most really good photos too. You see like a person like the snapshot of a guy that's like sitting at the bar and he's like barely looking over and you see him just totally scamming on the chick's chest. You're like, oh, busted, you know. But how much life and action you capture in that one little moment. If you did it with the iPhone compared to a photo, I mean,
What do you mean?
You might get more, better quality, get a little more out of taking with like a DSLR, snapping it, and you
If
see
you know
that,
how to shoot it.
and the guy's looking over doing that thing. But say you just happen to catch that raw moment with your phone, bam, the way that like a story comes across, some people will sell a photo over like with the story over quality any day, which is kind of nice because you know anybody can do it. But that's the way I look at it now, where I'm like everybody's a photographer.
It's a certain genre for sure, like war pictures and shit.
Hey, whatever happened to the pictures of those chicks?
Beehive Honey.
Did you ever talk to them?
Which one?
The ones downtown?
Oh no, I never finished. I guess the photos we took of them were like garbage, so I never finished them, and I didn't put it in the ending video and in or edit. So these girls that wanted us to sign a non-disclosure agreement for their photos or whatever, they don't even get them. So I felt I don't know, dude. There was random dude. They like started like they're like. Yeah, because after we were like running around downtown, they're like, "What's your number? What's like this? We got to have a decree." First, we were taking their phone.
They were drunk as fuck. All
we
four.
need like a non-disclosure agreement and stuff. I'm like, "This ain't a fucking photo shoot."
Yeah,
it's like
it's pretty funny. Like Brick's like, "What was it? Like I love Salt Lake or something?" And he's like, "Let me just take a couple pictures up here." And he's like, "I'm gonna." So I stood back, and he like set his camera down, and one of the girls comes up, and she's like, "What is he doing?" And I'm like, well, he's got his camera and he's taking pictures of himself, and it's like on a time loop, so it takes every 3 seconds or whatever. So he's got to move. She's like, "So what's you gonna do with those?" I'm like, taking pictures with them. And then she's like, "Are you guys from here?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're from here." "Do you guys take pictures for other stuff?" I'm like, "I don't know what he fucking takes pictures of, lady. I'm just walking around here." And then she's like, "Here, take our picture," and gives me her fucking phone. And then they tell Brick, like, "Come take pictures of us with your shit." And then we're sitting there taking pictures of them, and I'm just getting pictures of their fucking tits, dude. No, I'm just like, come on, you ladies will love these.
They're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you guys want your faces? All right, hold on."
Zoom out a little bit. No, I took some professional-ass pictures of, like, booty, dude.
I thought that was funny, too.
Booty.
Like, yeah, they see us taking photos.
Booty.
You guys must not be from around here. Just look over.
Yeah, nobody takes pictures in Utah, dude.
I know, yeah.
Nobody.
No one loves Salt. I love Salt Lake. What is this, dude?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But that was kind of a weird little area. Anyways, I don't even know what is that.
I don't know. It was a weird district, that's for sure.
It's like
The Green Pig.
It's kind of by like I want to say Golden Sack or some shit.
Yeah, we were looking for fucking Anonymous, but we couldn't find them.
Yeah, and it's
that's that same night we did the video for the cars.
Yeah, and like and I don't know, it was like because the building's kind of fat, but like everywhere around the building they have like some weird lights and things are set up, and so it was like kind of cool, but. Yeah, I don't know if it was like the theater district or what. It's something with City Creek. They're trying to start some new shit, but that's like the same thing with that like fucking mayor we have now, where she's like, I guess it's good because you're trying to bring like tourism and stuff.
Bringing life to the country.
But she's like oblivious to any type of major issue, and when it comes up, we're gonna make an art district, fucking the little square area right by Green Pig and like Twisted and fucking dude that. More than half of that is like some kind of like law firm business area, one shitty bar, and then another bar that's way tucked up in the area. How is that going to be an art? Like this is the part I'm like, because it's a square, it's going to be an art thing. It's like, dude, I feel like that's going to be wasting money, but
squares, bro.
I mean, they're doing something with it.
It's true, you
That's
know.
different.
You want them to do something.
The fucking Circle Lounge.
Yeah, some fucking what is it? Triangle Lounge, Circle Lounge. Fucking reinvigorate them every single 2 years with a new name, and then get shot up, and then it's like, whoa.
So I heard you were looking for models.
Yeah.
You were saying something about, before we started podcasting, you were saying something about looking for models. Where can they hit you up?
I don't want to slip in with the name, but there's a series for Utah girls, Beehive girls, and yeah. So, I mean, you can always go to brickanderson.com or brickandersonphotography@gmail.com and slip into them.
Also, you don't actually have to be a girl. Just got to be looking good, and hit them up.
That's true.
We can make you look like a Utah girl. Whatever. My name's Admir. I'll be there too.
Oh no!
Which is weird. There will be girls there too, so don't be like weirded out. Because that's funny. Because like I was joking about that with like Jordan. I can't remember who else I was doing that to. Because like Jordan,
like a volcano.
Jordan's a stud. He's got like he looks the part. You know, he can do both modeling.
Big Guns, Big Wayne.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Big Guns, Big Wayne, J Dog, and he's got like, because that's the thing too. He's got like the body where you can model for like athletics, so like Nike and all that kind of stuff. So when we went down and did that, it was like dope. And I mean that is definitely an option too. There might be Beehive misters. I guess what would they not be honeys? I guess they could be a Beehive honey.
Warriors.
He fits the Utah. He fits the
what,
Utah
dude?
part.
I'm trying to figure it out here.
Warriors. I don't know.
He fits the
Utah
Utah
B
part.
I
Warriors.
don't know about Warriors.
B-Kings.
Are there Warriors in Utah?
Yeah,
I mean, there
think
could
so.
be. We
That's
can
the
make
thing
'em.
too. Whether you're a warrior or you're just someone who wants to
beauty?
show to show their certain beauty that everybody has and stuff like that, then that's the opportunities and stuff. Or for a low rate and everything like that, you can get that and not be charge an arm and a leg, not be screwed out, not have
you
a
could show me your legs.
not have a weak Instagram, not have a weak Google.
Zing.
You have all that good stuff. Because now, and even I'll joke about that. Hey, anybody can take a photo. Take your photo. But it is
I
what
take
it is.
mental photos.
You can either have really good ones. Don't worry, ladies. He will not be there.
I will be there. I will carry you in a chariot. Okay, that'd be fine.
It would be. I mean, I guess there would be good to. I don't know, have some babes and stuff, but
Only
I don't know
babes.
what it is after like,
I mean, if the chariot weighs more than 150.
especially after you edit them, dude. If you go and you shoot photos for like an hour and then you go to edit them, it's like another 2-3 hours. I mean,
It takes time.
There's a weight
it takes
limit.
time, but
It
after a
takes
minute,
time.
it's like I don't know if it's like staring at the same thing for a minute, but it kind of loses luster.
I
Not
also
like
don't
loses
do
luster,
hills.
but then you realize it's business.
I mean, I hope it's business from front to back.
You know, because I think everyone has this weird motif where they're like, "Oh my god," you do some photos if it's like a risque photo or whatever
Yeah.
it is that like
I'm down for those.
it's going on some black market or some kind of crazy thing, or like, oh my god, they're showing everybody their all the friends and stuff like that. But dude, even if it's one where you're like, man, that one I might have showed a little bit too much.
We can Photoshop that.
It gets as much attention as all the other ones. People, after a minute, you're just like, fucking, okay, saturation, color, okay, we're gonna bring a little shadows, okay, fucking next. You start going through it. It really starts becoming like, not like you're not going through the motions, but it
What
becomes
he's
like
trying to say is you're not
you have
that
to kinda
important.
do it.
That's what I love about
It's true.
Jerry Seinfeld. Like in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, he was talking to, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was, what the fuck is his name?
Seinfeld?
Off of Hangover. The funny dude with the fuzzy hair and the
know
beard.
exactly
Seth Rogen.
No.
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach
Oh,
Galifianakis.
okay.
Yeah, so he's talking to him, and he's like, so, don't you hate people recording you? And Jerry Seinfeld's like, what are you talking about? Nobody gives a shit. You think they're going to go back and watch that? Really? Like, nobody gives a shit, even if you're completely famous. Like, it's like people taking video of fireworks. They're not going to go back and watch it later.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so true. I was thinking about that too. Everyone I was taking photos of that. I had a whole bunch of photos I took of the parade of people with their phones out, and so I was taking photos of their phones, them phoning the thing. And I
Yeah.
should have posted more of them because it was kind of a trip. But it was so funny because even me after doing that, I'm like, man, unless I was actually going to put them somewhere, like let them for
Unless
people
you
to
had
see.
some sort of sick fantasy for parades or something.
It would. I'd never look at those again, dude.
No.
I'd be like, it'd be
Yeah.
You know,
that flight was interesting. It was really shitty.
Yeah, and
Like, I
the
can
new
tell
thing pops
that
up
it
the
wasn't,
next
like,
day.
legit, but...
All I'm getting from this is if Rick starts doing the Utah beauties, the only person who's going to be reviewing those things is going to be me. It's
Yeah.
only people
There's
who
only
care.
one person in the world.
Just one person. Me. The chariot driver.
That's FPS 4D on Twitch.
Beehive Honeys.
Dude, I haven't even started streaming, but I bet if I started streaming with at least 6
There's
shots
only one way to find out.
of freaking alcohol, I bet I could get like at least 3 viewers within a couple months.
They can get 3 viewers if you just were to start it anyways.
I bet I could. Easy.
Easy, yeah. I feel like you could. That's one market too that
Start at the bottom, now I'm here.
you always see. You're like, oh, Ninja, this guy. Like, I mean, yeah, he's pretty popular. I feel like after Fortnite, he might die out or whatever. But like, even then, he might still not. But it's like there's such an audience for it,
You got
How
to
does,
be a
like,
god
God-
like Shroud, though, to keep an audience on no matter what you do.
Yeah.
The dude's a fucking god.
Not, I think as long as you're like consistent, you show up, you do solid gameplay. Like,
I don't know.
like Ninja, look at him, dude. All he does, I would say, the only thing he's good at is like winning.
Did you hear about that? No,
You know?
dude. Did you hear about that Twitch streamer that like wanted to kill himself?
Well, imagine it's very
Because he
stressful.
like streamed for 3 years, quit his job and everything, trying to get his thing to go, and max he got was like 20 people to view his thing for 3 years. And
That
then you
ain't-
get guys like Shroud who start doing it, and within the first year they got 20,000 viewers.
That's not his fault, though, dude. That's like, so that's the part I don't get. Like, since he has more, why does now you have less? Like that guy can fucking put a
It's
mustache on and fucking glasses and call himself Dr. Misrespect, and fucking this girl now all of a sudden is rocking it. You know, like.
Well,
Bro,
there already
was
is
it
a
girl?
dark.
I don't know. You might as
disrespect.
well. Fuck it. It's
Man,
like-
I was gonna say
No, dude, is if you're a chick and
No.
you're streaming, all you got to do is wear really like pinching, like pressing bra, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's another
you're
topic
good,
right there.
dude.
Think how many girls bitch about that, where they're like, "Man, I'm not trying to like sell my sex appeal. I want to sell my game. I'm a fucking gamer. I'm gameplay." And you look at if you want to bring up like names like Alinity, you know, she's popular because of PewDiePie, but then just dropped
Who?
off the face. Alinity. She's the girl that talks shit on PewDiePie, being like, "We're gonna copy strike his video." She got outed for being a bullshit streamer. She'd just sit there and fucking eat food or like fucking do a striptease or whatever.
yeah, but
you know?
she's still getting paid.
Yeah, but then that's where people were like, "Oh, you think of like a gameplay streamer, you know, vice versa to another streamer." But like, yeah, there's still an audience, you know, people want to watch that. Whereas like when it comes to another girl where she's like, "I'm a professional, no, I'm only doing gameplay, you know, I'm doing," because they actually had a girl that got made fun of on PewDiePie's video as well, and one of the girls was like, "Oh shit, I'm on Pewdie's video, dude." She's like, "Oh hell yeah," she's like, "That's right," she's like. Because it was like an eye tracker, and he's supposed to not like check out their titties or whatever.
Those ones
Yeah.
are the best too.
And she's like, "That's right." She's like, "You know, you like talking shit. You know, you watch him on gameplay and stuff, and like totally fine with it." The next person, which is Alinity, she's like, "Oh what? Oh my god! Well, can we copy strike him? We need to copy strike him right now," which is like so obnoxious. But
Yeah.
I love those videos, the eye tracker ones. They're always looking at butts and titties, and they're like, I'm not looking at that. He's like, yeah, you are. He's like, I just glanced over there. It's like, you glanced over there for 14 seconds straight.
it's pretty funny,
funny.
you know. But I would say I was even talking about this. I can't remember who I was talking about because people were talking about like race and like certain things. I feel like specifically cute girls or like girls that are beautiful have the they have the hardest set of life.
That's
People
why I'm being your chariot driver, ladies.
People think they don't. I think because they're like, "Oh, you get everything handed to them." I'm like, dude, how you meet most beautiful girls? They're kind of rude. They're kind of like this, but you start seeing the interactions, dude. They like get treated like, especially with other females. They're like was their choice to become like that? You know,
assholes to me because I'm just like
it could be. It could be.
I don't agree with that.
I think cute girls get it the worst, dude. They're like,
they definitely get it the worst, but they also get it the best.
how, dude? Like people were like, "Oh, you have everything. You have this." Like,
I don't know.
For
Who
instance-
says that? Who
for
says they have
instance-
everything? They don't have everything.
think about
instance-
the social justice warrior right now, dude. If you even were to be like, "Well, I worked
Well,
out and stuff,"
let's think about it.
Shaming me? This fucking pretty girl thinks she
or like,
she shot at a fucking animal.
I don't
pretty
know.
girl next to an animal?
No, now you're getting like way specific.
exactly.
This is,
can't get-
I don't
you
know
can't
what's
get
going
way
on because my
specific.
brain's like not working right now. But what happened to me once at Starbucks?
Oh, great.
There's a pretty girl in front of me, and I was like, I don't want to say nothing. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get
Well,
what
what
she
about
gets.
the ugly girl behind you? Why don't you talk to her?
I
See,
did.
dude?
Because the
She
pretty
told me-
girl gets
she
the guys
told me-
to talk to her.
She told me, she's like, don't even look at me, motherfucker. And I was like, all right. So I ordered the same drink the pretty girl did, which was a Mr. B. This is not Starbucks. This is Beans and Brew. I was like,
Hey, they
I
don't
want a
pay us
Mr.
nothing. They
Beast.
didn't get shit. Shout out.
So they got mine done before hers, and they were like, thanks for the tip. And I was like, no problem, homie. And I was like, next time, tip, bitch. And I fucking smacked her. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. I was a
Think
good...
about that when you go to the. I can't remember who brought it up to me, but someone was like, "Dude, think about how many times you look at a pretty girl in a place and you're like, damn, dude, the girl probably gets hit on all the time. She probably gets all the girls. Probably
That's
gets all
why I
that."
just avoid them. Because I don't want to annoy them.
Everybody annoys them, so avoids them. So when you go up to them girls, a lot of times it ain't even hard.
Oh,
like
shit,
the
dude, I'm the
mediocre
one.
girls are the ones that got their fucking guard up. I mean, it sounds shitty to
No,
say
that's true. But also, the hot girls get it easier because the guys that don't have the confidence don't go up to her. The guys that have semi-confidence won't go up to her. The guys who are really confident, who make the money, who can back up what they say, go up to her. So she has the cream of the crop. And she has some fucking creeps. But that's the price you have to pay.
How do you become
Versus
a creep?
mediocre girl who doesn't know whether it's
Gets
for
all-
real or
the
is
dudes.
it for real or is it not for real? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, but them same ballin' dudes will be like, fuck, I don't got the energy for this girl, dude. I'm gonna hit a mediocre girl and just drop
I don't
my
know.
fucking
No.
wad on the table and be
I
like,
don't
what are we
know.
gonna do about this?
What are we going to do about this?
And it sounds like, because anyone listening to this will be like,
Oh my god, fucking have a tier system, fucking mediocre and beautiful and
yeah, dude, it sucks, but that's the way life goes, you know? It's like, unfortunately, I'm sure I'm probably like Within 5 or 6, I imagine.
I mean, a little bit.
Somewhere in there.
I wouldn't say 5 or 6, more like
A
1 or
7?
3.
Oh, shit. I was like getting like, come on, I'm trying to like boost myself up a little bit.
If you want to boost yourself up, you want to buy our premium package booster
Yeah.
pack.
No, you get that.
For
You
only
go to
$600 a year.
Go to lostminds.com.
You buy a booster pack, we'll send it to you in the mail. All it'll say is like, you can do it.
That's why I wonder if it's like subjective too. Because I remember when I was like living in Texas, dude, I was like,
You instantly went up like 6 tiers?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, these people in Texas are busted. Not saying that like everybody was, but I was like,
No,
everything
it's-
is definitely
yeah.
bigger in Texas because like everyone generally looked. I don't know if it was like
It's a
the
food
instincts in me.
date.
I'm like, these people look
Cactuses.
unhealthy. You know, they look
Fat.
I'm fat and like just not like normal fat where like you're like
Just
solid all the way
overweight?
through. You got good calves and everything. You're just like a fucking pumpkin with skinny legs. You're like, what the fuck is this? You know, bloated or something.
I got good calves.
You look at like someone who's
Same
like
here.
thick, and you're like, and they're thick all the way through. They got like solid calves, they got solid arms. Everything kind of is like the same. It's not bad, you know. That's like a normal thing. But when someone's like thin ass legs, thin ass arms, and then just like looks like a fucking roly poly, and you're like, either you have a tumor,
Like a
or
potato
you
with fucking toothpicks poked into it.
yeah, it's like, or you like legit only eat food.
Image.
Sit there, your legs get zero movement, your body fills up with all the food and shit while you're sitting there,
Yeah.
same with your little tiny arms, and you become like a little fucking potato man. Just,
That was such a good mental image. Potato with
It's the truth.
toothpick stuck in it.
but it looks like that at some point. And that's the other part too, is where it's becoming like, oh, it's like a fat shame, or it's like this, but it's like that's adjustable. That's why when it comes to like racism, so people are like, oh, my skin.
Do you think it's called fat shaming now because we're outnumbered?
Maybe, but I don't feel any shame for them. It's like, bitch, you can change that. In 2 years, you can change that. If they're like,
No, that's my favorite thing.
I can't play NBA. Yeah, I can't
I'm
play in the
short,
NBA,
but
dude.
I can't change that.
Yeah,
You're
you can.
Fat,
You could change it.
well, maybe some
really.
moon
We could put you on
boots.
what are those?
But
What are
that's
those
not gonna
torture
work.
devices that like?
It
crank
doesn't work. I've
each
already
day?
tried it
But like an inch.
with the horses.
But like 1 inch, dude.
It didn't work.
We're talking like a foot, you know? People are
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I have a flat chest. I'm going to take fucking 50 pounds of cellophane or whatever
What's
the
that
hell they
shit
put in there.
Inject
It's like,
the oil, right? Is that what you're talking about?
or they'll do.
No, it's just $20,000 and get a new nice rack.
And
They
they're like,
inject
yeah,
like
I'm
oil
so
and shit
cool.
into their
It's like-
skin, and it like makes them look like they have muscles. You seen that, dude?
Oh yeah, the
I've seen that.
synthol, right?
Synthol, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It looks fucking
No, it's
disturbing,
cool
dude.
as shit. But when you go to lift up a gallon of milk and it's like
Dude,
you wince.
the one dude
It's
who's
like, what
got
the
like
fuck?
toothpick legs, and then he's got like these biceps that are bigger than my fucking head, and he's like,
Oh, that's
walking
my
around.
favorite meme where it's like they told me I could be anything when I grow up, and I wanted to be a cloud. he's all rolly. He's all
that's
buff
just
as
funny.
shit.
See, that shit's funny to me because, like, dude, if you want to lose respect, like, at least for me, if I'm going to lose any respect for, if I see some dude and they're like, you know, they had been working out or whatever, and they're like, I had to get calf implants though because I couldn't get my legs going. I'd be like,
Calf
you
implants?
fucking loser, especially in my mind,
Have you ever
for
actually
sure.
heard of anybody getting calf implants?
Yeah, it was
I've
on,
never heard of that.
Yeah, dude, come
Ever
on, that
in
was
my
on
life.
freaking MTV had a show about it. It was like
For
not
real?
the little plastic surgery thing, but all these buff dudes that were
Dude, I
like,
could crack walnuts with my calves.
see, a lot of these buff
No,
dudes
dude,
are only like lifting
I've
weights
been
shoulder
complimented
wise.
on my calves before in the gym, but and I never work my calves out. I just attribute it to skateboarding
You have
since
to-
I was 13. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
You have to
crushed
just
a
check that shit
coconut
out,
once
dude.
between my leg.
But any of those two, even like with, I mean, I'm like fake breasts are cool or whatever. But like when you find that shit out, I don't know. For me, it's like such loses the allure.
Did you
It's
say
like,
fake breasts are
oh.
cool?
You think, yeah? First, I mean,
Breasticles?
I ain't gonna be
I'm only
hating
hearing
anybody.
words
You know,
here
people
and
can
there.
do what they want. But like, if well, you sound stupid, but if I were to have the choice, if there was like identical you and then identical plastic surgery you, I would take identical you. You know,
Organic you.
yeah,
mean.
organic.
Organic.
Oh my god, but I'm like a little chunky and I have a flat chest or whatever. Or you could be like fucking have a giant scar across your belly where they like took that shit out and the scars under your tits with
Yeah.
these big flat buoyancy things that just stab straight at your like
I
pointing
mean,
straight
I
at
can
you.
see
You're
why
like,
some people do
what
it.
is this?
I can
true.
see why some people do it. Maybe like something happened in their life, or they're just, they were not cursed. Some guys like small chests. Some
Still,
women
get
just want
over
bigger
it, dude.
chests.
Get over it. That's
You
the part
could
I
get
don't
big. You could get over it, but some women always wanted a big chest. You know what I mean?
So, dude, I
Or a
want a
big
fucking
booty.
extra large dick. Like,
Hey, you
You
can
know,
do that.
But still, it's like I'm not gonna go do it.
No, you can't.
You can. They'll pump that
you
shit.
can.
They do like what the fuck is it like? Not cellophane or they do
Well,
some
supposedly
shit.
you have like 4 to 5 inches stuffed inside you that you can't see, and then sorry, explicit, but they'll just fucking cut you open and pull it out.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Okay, can I get context on that, please?
I
Let's
saw
get
it
links.
in a movie.
I'll see you guys
but,
in a week.
Even then, dude, that like I mean, of course, people whatever they can give me their excuses. But if I were to like end up dating someone like, well, I got fake breasts. I don't know, something about me, it would loosen its value. I'd be like, oh, like. Because in my mind, I know they're masking a problem in it. And when you get fucking, 60, you're going to try and get lipo and fucking Botox. And I just don't feel the same.
Tomato.
I just don't get the same looks from people. I just don't feel comfortable in my own body. Nor does anybody. And like, they're 14, you know. I mean, like, those type of things. Like, I mean, if you can't physically change it, you have to physically be able to accept it, you know? You can't be...
So if
Mentally.
someone
you
was
can't accept
born...
yourself, who
So
the
what
fuck...
you're saying, Brick, is that if a little boy was born with a cleft lip, he can't fix it because he has to deal with it for the rest of his life. Even though it's a small procedure that you can get done when you're 2 years old and get it fixed and be a normal kid like everybody else.
What is normal?
Yeah, what is normal? I was going to say that... Like,
Normal.
I mean, yeah, you would say, okay, yeah, you can fix them and they'll have
See what I'm saying? It's
But
like...
are you going to be sitting there and telling me you can't tell the fucker had a cleft lip? Like, you're going to
Definitely.
fucking know.
Most definitely. Dude, you should see some of those
You look at
surgeries.
Joaquin Phoenix, you look at, like, these guys, they all had cleft lips.
Born in 1973 versus 2018.
And it would be fine, but, like, I want to say that I don't think, like, say that same kid with the cleft lip all of a sudden just started acting in movies just like, oh my God, Owen Wilson with his
I don't
crooked
know,
nose, and he becomes
Yeah,
famous.
No. Some
Girls
people
are going to want to
accept it.
fucking shove their clit in that kid's face, dude. Be like, yo, let me
Well,
like...
no, here's the thing.
Well,
like,
who's
some
that?
people accept
What is
it. and
cleft
some
lip? It's
people
like when
don't.
your lips like...
Yeah, when
Yeah,
there's
you
like a
have to
big
look
cut
up.
in it.
Okay,
like
so
connects to
who's
your nose.
the guy we went to high school with?
Garrett.
Growing up with him, dude, I didn't think there was anything wrong with him.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Neither did I.
not.
But do you think he got made fun of it
I didn't.
growing up in elementary school?
I didn't. I thought he
course
was.
not.
I thought he was absolutely normal. Like,
Okay, did a little girl get made fun of for not having big tits? And, like, you know...
Definitely between her
It's
friends.
some shallow shit, dude.
Oh,
that a
yeah,
fucking bitch
absolutely.
would do.
but I think that is all on the person themselves.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like,
and so why should I be congratulative towards it? So like if someone were to have like, well, I got my fake breast. If anything, I feel like I should be more negative towards it and be like, you cop out, you fucking aren't accepting of yourself, you don't find yourself as a beautiful.
I could see both ways. I guess I could see both.
I could see both ways.
I could
It's just
see-
like you shouldn't do it, but I mean, what if you just should? If you want to.
I could see it both ways. I think you
At
should
that
just
time,
accept
all
yourself
of us
for
would
who
be
you are.
aliens, dude. We just if everybody could do it, we might as well chop ourselves up. We all look the same.
But here's the difference. I'm not doing it.
Me neither.
I don't give a shit. I got
Exactly.
braces.
Would you do it to yourself though? Like
I
would
got
you,
braces because
would-
I hate my shitty teeth.
But would you like
It's just
cut your
annoying.
dick up and shit?
I don't know.
I mean, if it gives me
Maybe.
4 X-rays.
I mean, I don't know.
Just kidding.
Is that for you? Is it gonna feel any better for you? Is it gonna feel better
Yeah,
for her?
dude,
You're worried
it-
about them. Fuck them,
I
dude.
could dangle
it's
it
gonna
out
feel
and
good
just
for
be
you
like,
already.
alright.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
you give them what you got, dude, and it's like you now need to feel better for yourself to feel better to give them.
Why do
don't
people
you just
work
feel
out?
Good about
Why
themselves?
do people work out? You're not naturally buff. You want to look good.
Yeah, you
You
I
wanna
will
be
tell you one thing
smoking-
though. Brian's teeth are looking fucking killer right
know?
now, dude. Those things are
Saying,
looking
I'm just
good.
saying, if I could smile in a picture now, I'm gonna feel happy.
I'll go back to the workout thing, dude. I feel like we do that because you want to feel good. If you look at any hieroglyph, any fucking old statue, you look at all of them. They're fucking ripped, jack, all this kind of stuff. Nowadays, our lazy fat fucking asses don't do shit. We just sit there. We do nothing except for people work out. And then how you're working towards this
Yeah.
goddess. You're working towards this thing that was a natural thing when you're hunting, gathering. You eat 1 meal a day. You have to fucking go get that meal, hoping that your
here's the
wife
difference:
found
is
some
you don't
berries.
have to do it. You don't have to do shit. You can literally call someone and they'll bring you McDonald's. That's how bad it's getting.
Yeah, it's
like you
getting
don't have to
bad.
go to McDonald's anymore. They'll
But
bring it to you.
What's the difference between you going to the gym and then me going to a doctor and then fucking sucking all that fat out and then being like,
You got more money.
bitch,
You got a lot
it's
more
hard
money
to be
than I do.
skinny. You know, like,
But the thing is, a doctor can't implant muscle. They can
do
take
that
fat
Synthol
out, but
shit.
that's not muscle though.
It's definitely not muscle.
So if you went to the gym for 3 months and Brick sat around for 3 months, did nothing, and then on the final 3 weeks, Brick went and got his fat sucked out and got synthol installed or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now I want both of you to do 30 crunches and lift 100-pound dumbbells.
Okay, but here's the thing.
He wouldn't be able to do it.
Here's the thing.
You'd be able to do it. You'd both look good.
That's
but
why
he'd be a
If he
face.
was doing crunches,
Well,
fuck,
here's
what
the
if you're only
thing.
lifting arms.
No. That's why
Working
there's
out.
That's why there's like Mr. Olympia, where they don't lift weights. They just have nothing but you look at them and you look at their physique and you're like, okay, I'm going to grade them off that. And then you have power lifters where they go up there and they literally try to lift as more heavy weight than the next guy. So you either got to think, do I want to be physically like powerful,
But
or
those
do I want to
Mr.
be?
Olympia guys, they work out though, right? They don't take
Oh yeah,
synthol.
absolutely. They work out.
They work out. But they
go
tone
hard.
their muscles.
Yep,
And then they
to make it look perfected.
Yeah, and then they
But-
dehydrate for a week, and then they put oil on, and they stretch their muscles, and
Yep.
their muscles are dried out, but you could see their skin. But the guys
Versus
that
the
are,
guy with a huge fucking gut, 6'4", humongous gut, and he can lift more than anybody in the whole wide fucking world.
Or a tiger shows up and the guy, the fucking triathlon takes off, and then all fucking four of them are the buff dude and the
Yep.
guy that
But
fucking
if
does
you
it.
declaw
They're all,
that tiger-
all meals
Yeah,
for
you
that
declaw
fucker,
the
dude.
tiger.
you declaw the tiger and take its teeth out so it can't hurt
You
you.
can have a little bit of teeth, but not the
I bet
fangs.
one of those guys could fight it. One of those
Oh, yeah.
liftier
Let's
dudes.
take like Stipe Stipe
It's the
Miocic.
claws that fuck people up.
Take Stipe Miocic. He's
definitely.
pretty big. He's pretty buff. He's like, I still feel. I mean, even if I got knocked out, he's like the heavyweight champion. At least in my mind, one of the baddest dudes on the planet. He's buff, but not that buff. That dude would like when you look at his physique. I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure he'd lift just as much or not as much as some of the
Maybe.
bigger dudes. He'd fuck them all up.
Well, he
for
knows
sure.
how to fight. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And if a tiger came, he could outrun those fuckers, you know, like a natural response, you know, because at the end of the day, if you're pumping iron, you might as well just fill yourself up with silicone, and then you have you're a cloud, you know. Who knows any different? You don't show up at the gym, you just
I
stand
mean,
there.
if you have the power to back it up, that's
You're just
the
wearing your
difference.
fucking big Pete's headphones and fucking got your shirt on, and just be like standing in front of the mirror and touch a weight or two, and people are like, man, this guy, because that's all I feel like they do. Like I'll go work out, and I'm like all over the place, and I'm like, these fuckers are still standing in front of the mirror, getting these curls on.
It's
you know?
psychological.
What what movements
Psychological is
do you ever do that in real life?
Yeah, it's 50%,
Luck.
100%
It's-
Pleasure.
reason to remember the name. Mm-hmm. So you gotta just, I don't know. That's why there's so many mirrors in there, so you can see those veins. That's why the pre-workout makes it so you.
But that's the problem where I'm having
getting
too.
nuts.
Is like, so then you're not working out to be healthy or to be able to run a mile or run away from an animal or be able to strong enough to move a rock off.
It's
a
just like
person.
everything else. Like you
wanna
need to
be able to
continue
look
get
at yourself.
motivated.
Not
I mean,
look at themselves, but they
well-
want other people to look at themselves as they look at themselves in that mirror when they're lifting.
and on top of that, you got to be motivated.
'Cause
like,
I think-
there's nothing worse than working on something for months and months and months and not seeing anything yourself, which you won't. But other people will compliment you, and when
Yeah.
other people compliment you, you're like, all right, so it actually is working.
But also
But that's
that
the problem right there. I feel like because like say you were to
We're,
do
we're-
that.
humans
animals, though.
are village mentality. It's all you can't do it by yourself.
But
I
that's
mean,
the
you
fucked
could,
up thing
but-
where you're like in your mind, you're like, I want to change this because this person thinks this of me. When it's like, first off, you don't know what the fuck I think of you. You're thinking that they're thinking
everybody has their
something
own thing.
exactly, and so it's like, where
The best
where
way to
does
do
this
anything is for
this
yourself.
like
You
bar
definitely
come?
have
You know?
narcissists and shit like that, where people are like, I can't do anything without this person loving me. You know, pretty much. Like, I want the whole world to love me.
So why do I got to accommodate for them? Like, I got this.
You don't.
You don't.
You have to worry about yourself, and
but
that's it.
In
that's
society,
the part, that's the
we
part
have
where
to.
that's the part where Brick's right though. Everybody's pushing for that. Where it's like, if I have an opinion, my opinion doesn't matter if you have an opinion.
If everybody was
so
doing
for
it,
instance,
you'd be doing it.
No. So for instance, if I like, let's say I don't agree with people thinking they're fucking multi-gender or whatever. If I'm just like, that doesn't exist. That's my opinion. I think there's men and women, and that's it. This is just my opinion. Now, Brick's opinion is, no, there are... I'm not saying this is his opinion or is not. I'm just using him as an example, so don't go fucking freaking out, pieces of shit. If Brick is like, my opinion is that anybody could be anybody they want, anytime they want. Monday I could be a man, Tuesday I could be a woman, Thursday I could be a fucking attack helicopter, whatever.
Okay, then what's the
And
difference
then,
between...
but here's the difference: is I go, I don't believe in that. Now Brick will press his opinion on me, saying that I have to do
what if
what
Brick
he
doesn't
does.
press his opinion on you? You don't think
Then
there's
he'd be in the
peop-
same
you don't
court
think-
as me.
Wait, hold on. You don't think
But there
there's-
are too many
you
of
don't
those
think
people
there's
that are pressing their
feminists
opinion.
out there that don't give a fuck what you think versus the feminists that are out there that try to stuff it down your throat?
If you
There's
if you
tomato
put
and
yourself in
tomato.
that group,
Yeah.
if you put yourself in that group, you're already pressing your opinion.
I don't know about that.
See,
If you label yourself, I am so and so white knight of the
No, I
round
know
table.
gay people who don't give a fuck whether you think, whether you know that they're gay or not when they walk in a room, versus gay people who walk in a room and they want you to fucking know that they're gay. There's complete polar opposites, but they're in the same faction.
But then they're not in the same faction.
It's
They're in
like
the same
someone
faction
who
as
works
you.
out, someone who struts their stuff all day, and then someone who just throws on a baggy shirt and says, "I'm just going to go." You know,
That's where I feel like our privilege comes into it, because it is like that. But I feel like you don't want to like. I was always one of these persons who like, oh, privilege ain't some shit. But I watched a documentary called Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes. And everyone should watch that shit. It definitely does change your eyes.
Where'd you watch it on?
YouTube. And dude,
Blue
fucking
eyes, brown eyes.
the amount of privilege that you actually, it's so funny because they end up breaking people up with their blue eye, brown eyes, where that became the issue instead of like the skin color. It's
got hazel
fucking
eyes.
shocking, dude. Because people, fucking white people with their brown eyes, they're like, dude, people with privilege don't think they have privilege. That's how you know you have privilege. And that's where it's like starting to become this thing where we have this society where you might be like, oh, this group, you know, and then you can take an outlier that might not. Whereas, like, it's the same thing with, like, I was arguing with these guys where I'm like, dude, women have a hard problem because they are expected to be
Were
in
they
the
all
home. They're
Americans or
expected
what?
to do this. Yeah.
So what if you brought like a whole bunch of Somalis in to the U.S. and then you were like, all
I
right,
love tamales.
Somalians.
Oh, Somalians.
What if they'd be like, oh shit?
Well, the thing
Maybe we are
so
privileged.
here's the difference with the privilege thing. Like my brother, he says that cops are always going after him, and I'm saying cops are never going. Like, I'll knock on wood. I've driven my car since I was 17. I've never been pulled over, never got a ticket. And my brother's like, they're always fucking targeting me, and I'm like, me and you basically look exactly the same. This is like, it's like a test. What do they do? Those like scientific tests where they like take A and B
placebo
groups.
effect and shit
Yeah.
like that?
And I'm just like, so why are they going after you? You basically look just like me. We could fucking, they mistook you for me. Literally, they mistook you for me. They thought you were me. And there's cops going after you, and there's no cops going after me. We're both white. We're both from the same fucking family. We basically look the same.
Both Bosnian.
What is going on here? What are we doing different? Why are cops targeting you? And he's always like, they're fucking surrounding me. They're always chasing me down. They're pulling me over. I'm like, what are you doing wrong? Because
I would say it's the attitude, dude. Because
I think it is the
A,
attitude.
the attitude. B, why did he get pulled over? Was it speeding? Was
yeah,
it,
well, I
like,
watched
just
another
like the
documentary
driving?
about
Was it-
like, at least I posted on the Facebook about filing a complaint to a cop. You ever watch that? Yeah, fucking watch that. If you want to post some stuff, filing complaints for an officer, you might as well be asking, hey, can I fuck you in the ass? Because all the officers instantly are like, when we take you to jail? And then the one guy was like, you can't take me to jail. I'm just coming here. I just want to take the paper because they have a paper you can take to apply to like write a complaint. And the guy's like, you better leave before I make up some charges on your ass right now. And he's like, what? He's like, I will create something to throw your ass in jail. And he's like, you're going to what? All this on hidden camera, dude. And he's like, I will create something to throw your ass in jail. You want to come against us like that? And he's like, I'll tell you if it's a complaint or not. You don't get to decide if it's a complaint or not. We decide that. And he's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? He's like, I would rather talk to your boss. He's not in. You could talk to me. And it's like, you little fucking cunts, dude. Because like that privilege, you know, the second their privilege is shown, like
That's not
attacked.
privilege. That's power, dude.
But
That is power.
That is
privilege is
power.
power. Privilege is power. So if you were to be like, hey man, you can't do that because whatever, instantly you're kind of attacking their well-being.
Their tribe.
That's the problem, you know, and that's we do the same thing where you're like, if someone's like, well, yeah, man, there is a bit of white privilege. No, I don't see that, you know, because I'll do
I
the
think
same
it's
thing.
a little different. I don't want to say you're wrong, but I want to say that everybody's kind of like that. Like if someone comes up to my family and they start picking a fight, you know, we're all going to be like, oh, this is my family. You know, I'm going to back up my family.
Yeah, but have
You
you,
know
ever
what I mean?
like one of the examples the guy used? He's like, I never thought about it, but he's like, I have a wife that's white, you know, and my daughter looks white. I will never pick her up from school. And the guy's like, why? Because I don't want no one to know that she's fucking black. And
That's on them, dude. You want to start progression?
Why?
Start doing it
why?
yourself.
Why is that there though? Like that would never cross my mind.
No,
if I was
no,
a
no,
kid.
no, 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 no.
Ever.
Well, because-
why is that there?
No, dude. Here's
Wait,
the
why is he
difference.
thinking
Here's
like
the
that in the
difference.
first
Exactly. Why is that there? Because our society created this. And I can say no privilege all I want.
But he's part of the society, though. He's the one pushing it.
Yeah, you're making it
He's
worse.
one of the Lego blocks making it worse.
Yeah, no, that's how I think. I mean, I don't
Exactly,
I
though.
see how that guy's thinking about it because if you're African American and you're in a mixed race relationship, it's really tough. Same with my relationship. I'm brown and I have a white chick. So, growing up, I never saw myself being darker. I was just someone else, right? I go to Boise, Idaho, and that's the first time like it really hit me. Like I was getting neglected, and everybody else, come in line. This guy's just gonna wait.
I've never had that. Well, I'm going to stop
course
you right
not.
there. Because that's that bullshit privilege I've been stuck with.
Well, it's not even privilege. It's just you never had
It's
to
a lack
deal
of a
with
better
it.
word. Exactly. Why? Because I'm privileged, I guess, which is fucked up.
No.
Because we came from the same areas. We had the same shitty situation.
I don't see it like that.
You and me are both like in the same situation. We kind of grew up in the same area. We have like, you know,
You're gonna have
we
idiots.
were raised by our mamas. We've
I
got
don't
that
know.
kind of shit.
The only privilege
I've
I can
never
see
had
I
that.
have is the fact that my skin color is white. But whenever I go anywhere and people ask me for my name, I get a little like hesitation from people because they're just like, "Excuse me, your name is
but
Admir.
I think
Where's that from? The Middle East?"
Is it a nickname?
No. The difference is you just gotta pretend like it ain't shit. Like,
that's what I
in the
do,
shop
too.
that I work at, there was this older guy who used to work there, and he didn't like gay people. But everybody knew that I went to the gay parade, and I did that shit on that weekend, you know, for my brother because I support him. And I go back to work, and everybody's giving me shit, and I'm just laughing it out. Haha, yeah, I was at the gay parade. I was sucking dicks. Yeah, so what? You know? And this guy was just, like, really religious and shit. And I just told him, I was like, well, when the prophet says, hey, you know what? It's all right to be gay. You can still be in the Mormon religion. It's all right. Just remember me,
boy.
you know, because
was he
I'm the
Mormon?
one. Yeah, I was like, I'm the one who's telling you right now that that's gonna happen. He's like, no way in fucking hell, and this, and that, and this, and pretty much already has happened. They're like, you know what? Don't ostracize the gay people. Let's let them in. Let's, you know,
We're losing numbers.
Yeah, we're losing a lot of profit here. Come on.
That's where I
But-
feel like this documentary will be eye-opening to all, like everybody listening. That blue eye, because I was that same thing, dude. Blue eyes, brown eye experiment. When you see how dumb it is when it goes down just the colors of your eyes,
Yeah.
it's fucking shocking. Like I was in that same.
Who's getting more privilege?
The fucking brown eyes got the privilege. So it was
Over the
opposite.
blue eyes?
Over blue eyes.
Why?
Minority.
Because
majority.
most people with brown eyes are like usually a minority, which are like was all
But
the
most
black
people
all
with
the-
blue eyes are white people,
Exactly.
so they would be privileged.
And you should see the way they fucking fight for that shit because they expect everything. They assume everything's this way.
I think
when
it-
you
was
when
it a
you tell
classroom?
them, it's more of like the lady that her name that she calls
think I
herself
did
the
see
bitch.
this.
People come in
did
and
see
she's
this.
like, "What do you got? Shit, put this collar on. Shit, get out of here. You're not with me. Go in the holding cell." And they make them do dumb shit where like they go in a room and there's only 2 chairs or something, and there's like 10 of them. And they have to all fucking stand there for 3 hours, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And then the brown eyes people get the nice chairs and they go and sit down. Next thing you know, they get the meals. These guys get fucking crackers. They get to go fucking get a buffet. And everyone's like, "What the fuck? Where fucking these people get it?" And then when she brings up the thing, she's like, "Well, this is the same thing like as of privilege. Like this is you want to look at a above version of your eyes versus this." All of them, even with the white people and the brown eyes, are like, that's wrong. That never happens. I've never seen that shit. Everybody else is like, they'll be the most quiet about the whole thing, and then they'll bring up those stories like that. Well, I don't pick up my daughter from school because of that. And everyone's like, why? Oh my God, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's like, I don't know why. I just do. He's like, I'm conditioned to do that. And I was like, in my brain, I'm like, I've never had that condition. I'm like, right there, like where I'm thinking, oh, there's not an issue. There is, because I was blind to it. I have to be opened up to it, where it's like, and only slowly some people were like, holy shit, and they're open up to the change and listening to the people.
Basically, those people that are stuck in that condition need to get themselves out of it. Even though there are, what are they called? Suppressors?
Yeah, so even the same way where you're talking, like, they just need to, like, be like, fuck that shit, I don't give a fuck, you know? Is exact. They need to do that shit,
You
as
can't
in
really
other
blame
people
them
need to do the
because
opposite.
There
like,
are those
I know people
suppressors.
I know grown ass adults that know Spanish that didn't teach their kids Spanish because when they were growing up, they were told not to speak Spanish. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
But
yeah.
who tell you not to speak another language?
That's the oppression. right
When you're
there.
growing
It
up,
doesn't even matter.
like, and I can't blame in the 70s and like 60s and shit. No.
Oh, that makes
You're
sense.
in America.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
You know, you're gonna speak English.
I can see that you're talking to your buddy at work, and they're like, "Hey, just for the clients,
Yep,
we'll have
exactly.
just not
no,
do that."
No, Spanish.
And all of a sudden in your brain, you're like, "Ooh,
I guess
there's a negative connotation on
I guess
that."
there's also a difference between that native culture too. Like
yeah.
with Bosnian people, dude, if there was a group of Bosnian people out in the public and they were speaking their native language and someone's like, "You can't be speaking that here," they'd just be like, fuck yourself. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, but then
Because
you can't
that's
blame
their
the Bosnian
mentality.
people because there's also a certain group of Bosnian people that Bosnian people don't like, right?
What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like, isn't it Russian and Chechens?
Kind of like
They don't
like,
accept
Well,
them as
so,
Russians, right?
so
religious connotation, right?
So in a
Yep.
sense, there's Croatian people, Serbian people, Bosnian people, people from Montenegro.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, all the same, but they're not going to say they're the same.
Exactly.
But if you're here in the U.S.,
You're friends
You're-
because
you're
you're a
friends.
long
You
way
hate to
from
say it.
home.
but the thing is like it don't matter.
But there's still a tier system. You're still like, I'm Boston. She's not quite, you know.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
you're both speaking together in a park and
Yeah.
someone's like, "Quit speaking that
No, definitely.
commie language,"
Definitely.
speak English, they'll both be like, "Go fuck yourself," because we're gonna keep speaking this, and our kids are gonna speak this, and whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So that whole suppression thing also comes back from you yourself. If someone told me,
No, definitely.
if we were all speaking Spanish out in the fucking park, and someone's like, "You can't speak that Mexican language here," I'll be like, "Fuck you, dude. I could do whatever the fuck I want." It all starts from you yourself. If someone else is being a suppressor towards you, you have to be an aggressor towards them. That's just the way it is.
That's exactly what that documentary covers. 'Cause this lady
America.
had done it a million times, a bunch of different places, and the one that she kind of does it on, she ends up doing it to like this. It was like the British group, and they're even such fucking oblivious rats that they fucking rat each other out. So they're supposed to give them a test, and she's like, "This is the other part of the privilege test where we're going to give you some of the answers and not give it to them." And she's like, "I want to question them as if they're dumb." Mm-hmm. Halfway through it, one of the girls is like, "I want to tell you guys right now, we got all the answers, and she's going to try and make fun of you because of your privilege." Fucking ruins the test.
Wow.
And you're like, "You little bitch!" Like, because that's the part of the privilege is that a person that, unless you can, even if there isn't a privilege, as long as you're open to it and being like, "Oh, maybe there is," like when
Trying
the
to see the
change
other
comes
side.
from you 1st,
Uh-huh.
we're like, "I will give change," and they will give change, even if your change is like being like, "Okay," and then they have to go through the whole process of being like, "Yeah, fuck them, fuck this," and there's way more work. Your little okay is just as important as being able to be like, "Okay," and it's shocking, like, because like on the littlest things you won't realize it, and when you watch
Yeah.
a test like that.
The best part of all of this conversation is you got to learn now not to give a fuck about what anyone else thinks.
No,
It
it's
really
true.
starts with
the best.
yourself.
Yeah, but you
I feel
can't
like it
be
starts with
fucking.
yourself.
You can't be stupid about it either.
No.
You can't force it down other people. Stood out and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, accept me."
Because then
Yeah.
you become the guy who's being the suppressor. You become the fucking.
Yeah.
You become the
In a certain-
racist. You
certain
become
way.
the fucking the guy who's making fun of someone else. If let's say Brian wants to get breast implants, so be it.
That'd be cool.
Even if my opinion is against it, so be it. If Brick wants to go all natural, so be it. If you want to fucking,
I don't know what that means, but all right.
if you do, like, let's say we were, I don't know, what do you guys do? Bicep implants. If you wanted to
I
do
don't know
bicep
about
implants
that either.
and Brick didn't want to do them, you guys do whatever the fuck you want. But if I wanted to go out and fucking grow my hair out and be a hippie, you guys damn well best let me do it. And if you don't, I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't mean we're not going to make fun of you for it.
Doesn't mean I want to care.
Because that's the part where I feel
Exactly.
like the problem's got to trip over because they're like, "Oh, that's just it. I got my bicep implants." It's like, well, why? Because I want to feel better about myself. Why? Because I care what people think. Why? Because that's
Some
just
people
what society
do.
has. Why? You know, it's like you're always gonna get to that. I got my fucking breast implants, but no one thinks I'm fucking cute. I can't get anybody off Real Big Fish. Everyone's like telling me I look retarded. So, why? Why are they doing like it's? Oh, I feel like if it's just masking another issue, there'll be another one. You know?
Then why do people get on Facebook 24/7 and give a fuck what other people actually think?
Dude, I
What
ask
if they
myself
just
that
did
shit
it
every
because
day.
they
I'm
like the way
why?
they look?
Yeah,
What if they
exactly.
just did it because, like, I got bicep implants because I think it looks fucking killer, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think this looks fucking cool. In my opinion,
It's
I don't
like
give
a
a
tattoo.
fuck if girls
it's like,
like
a
it.
tattoo. It's exactly like a tattoo. It's
I
like,
just
why the
wanna
fuck
do it
did you
because
get
I
that
think it
tattoo?
looks cool.
Because I wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Would that make it wrong? If only reason I did it was because, like, let's say a girl gets breast implants because she thinks she likes it. She just likes her tits being fucking huge. She likes putting on a little skimpy bikini because she thinks it looks cute. Not because she wants to get a boyfriend. Maybe she wants to be single for fucking ever. But she thinks having big tits looks good
Why?
because
Like-
she likes it.
Because it usually
Because she
does.
likes to spend. Yeah, see, because it's society. Like, it's like, why do you like to have to put on bigger shirts? Do you like have to put on
That's
bigger
the
clothes?
nature of being
Do you want
human,
to
though.
rebuy your whole fucking lingerie system?
It's just
like,
how it is now. Like you're not going to
It's
get
always
a hot
been like that.
model with small, tiny, flat chest.
What about Kate Moss? What about like?
I don't even
know who that is.
Oh well, these are.
Do you
like
know who
famous...
Kim Kardashian is?
Yeah, fucking fake ass
God,
bitch.
dude.
Got
Yeah.
fake ass, fake titties.
Yeah, everybody knows
Suck
who
that
that
dick
is.
to get
Photoshop,
famous.
dude.
Right? You know, she's a
Photoshop.
millionaire, and she also has a whole bunch of other shit and has a TV show that's the most popular in the whole wide world.
But that's a little different though, because they're
It's
like
not different
a
at
freak.
all.
They're a freak family where they've sold their lives, like where Kylie Kardashian
Dude.
is now a fucking billionaire, and people are donating her money so she can become the youngest billionaire. It's like, fuck is this,
Yeah,
dude? That's
exactly. Why? Why do people do it? Nobody knows. Who gives a fuck? Just
Dude,
live your
if
life.
that's how it works. Let's just
Yeah.
get Brian's little kid, put her on a fucking GoFundMe, and be like,
Yeah.
"We want to have the youngest billionaire. Everyone donate
youngest
to a
gazillionaire.
1-year-old."
I'll tell you right now, I think it's that fake cry for fucking help
Attention.
and
It
or
is.
happiness.
It
Where
is.
like,
It's the human
this will make
condition.
me feel better. This will like whatever. I did it for myself. Why? Because I feel better. So you're a piece of shit before and until always. Yep.
Well,
But
here's another
why?
thing. Why
Because I
do
feel
you take
great.
pictures, Brick?
Because I can make money doing it.
Do you like to do it versus doing sanding cars?
Yeah, of course.
So then why do you charge for it? Versus why don't you just do it for free if you like it that much?
Dude, guys got to eat.
Exactly. So you
That's
get
different,
fake
though.
tits, you flash them around, maybe get up on a stripper pole.
And that's using
I'd
it to
pay
your,
for that.
That's using it
Dollar,
to your
dollar
advantage.
bills.
then.
No, I wouldn't know.
Okay,
I'm an
so-
all-natural kind of guy. Ladies, if you come here and take
And there's some
pictures.
guys that just want bolt-ons.
But that's crazy though. So say I spend that $1,000 instead of on titties, I buy a camera. And
Those would be some shitty titties for $1,000.
if you think about it
but
though,
they'd
and then
still
all
be
of a sudden,
$1,000 titties.
I mean, if you
and
spend
then all of a sudden-
$20,000 versus for a camera versus titties,
but now I feel better as a
That's
person.
different.
That's
Be
crazy.
Steven
So
Spielberg.
I'm better. Nothing's changed on me, but I'm better as a person. But they like physically like change something. Like, I mean, not like saying like God given or whatever.
all right. What about short guys? Do you think out of the millions and billions of short guys that are out there, how many of them would want if you could literally make them taller without making them look like ridiculous? How
sure
many people would do it?
Most.
Exactly.
But let's say if it wasn't basketball wasn't our famous thing. Let's say fucking tall and dark and handsome wasn't the thing. What if we had to fucking hurry and scurry
Well,
under
then-
holes for our lives?
Well, then you got to
Fucking small people would be
whole
pop-
dynamic of the whole wide
Exactly.
world.
Why
But
do we
that'd
have
be
this
just a-
dynamic of big
I think it's
titties?
just human nature.
Well, it's
dude.
just like why do people like big dicks now? When back in the day, big dicks used to be you're if you have a big dick, you're dumb.
That's what people thought.
You see what I'm saying?
I'd say that's a lie because most people only live till they're
Absolutely
like
not.
26. So all of them are like little fucking kids. It's like David, and they have the statue of David. He's like 13
No
years
way,
old.
dude.
You have a little fucking dick.
No idea.
Well,
Yeah.
look
and so
at-
people will be
look
like,
at
it's
the
because they're
world-
smart. We didn't even. No one lived till they were 30.
That's true.
Your
If you
dick
look,
stops growing at like 13, right?
if
Or
you look
14.
at
That's David right there, dude.
if you look at the Roman statues of the
yeah,
males,
they all have their nuts.
all have
their dicks
little-
are sitting on top of their nuts.
they all have
They're
little
peeing
wieners.
on their fucking nuts.
It's because they were
Smart.
no, no, it's because they were actually super young, but they made their bodies of grown men because nobody got that old. Nobody was. I guess they did get old, but not like that muscular and that buff.
Because I've always
that's
heard
not
that
how
same
it
thing
was
too.
back
I
then.
don't
People
know.
like,
You weren't back there.
well, the people are like, it's because they're
I have
smart.
a time machine.
Well, one thing I heard on that Hardcore History with the Dan Carlin is that was one of the biggest misconceptions of Florence.
I
and
must be a
David.
genius then.
Yeah, because like they're like, oh, he's smart, and they're like, well, David, dude, when that happened, he was like 10, like 12 years old. He's a little ass kid.
You talking about David and Goliath?
Yeah, so like the David of Florence, where he's sitting there, is the most famous fucking picture, and and it's the same thing as little dick's perched up on his balls. Dude, he's like a 13-year-old. We're like technically fucking a child molesters, like checking out the statue of a person. But like even then, like
I mean,
you
you'd
can
have
say,
to molest someone to be a child.
let's say it wasn't. Why? So
Just
like,
looking at it.
no, they don't care. Fuck, who cares about getting that shit? People are trying to get dick reduction. We give it 100 years, and all of a sudden now, like we have to get implants, and it's because of us, and it's because I feel better.
Society.
I feel better inside. Why?
Because that's
why you feel better.
society's
Exactly. like-
picture on
Yeah,
people.
Exactly,
That's how
so it
society
shifts.
views me.
So if
So
you
it's
don't
like-
give a fuck, continue to not give a fuck. And if you do give a fuck, make yourself feel better.
Which I'm for. So I guess I should reiterate. As long as the people do what they want, but when someone like it becomes like a badge of honor type of things, like where they all of a sudden, this girl, I'm hot now. I got my. The fuck you are. You're still a dumb bitch, and we got big titties. Now you're like cool. You had to like spend 10 times more money on all your fucking clothing and everything.
That's
to
true.
really do
Most
it.
smart people, they don't
Cool.
get that stuff.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, there's some sort of honor, like if a young lady really wanted to get big boobs and she worked real hard and saved a bunch of money, then it also just adds on to that, right?
No.
Like, I mean, hey, I saved up. I really want big boobs. I've always had small, tiny ones. Nobody ever recognized me. I see all my friends getting all this attention at the bar, and I never get attention. No one ever buys me drinks.
That's because you're at the wrong place. You need to become a Twitch streamer.
Why are you going to the bar? Maybe the people are like, oh man, I can't find a guy that likes to read and study and stay home at night every time I'm at the bar. Why you at the bar, bitch? That's like with guys.
Yeah,
I want to find a good girl that stays home and cooks and... Why you at the bar, bitch? Because that's not the girls that are fucking there, you know. You need to go to church for that
But
shit.
still,
You need to
dude,
go-
That's true,
it's
dude.
just
You
like
want to
everything
get a
else.
zebra, you got to go to the fucking Serengeti.
Yeah.
You want to get a goddamn mountain goat, you got to go to the mountains. You can't get a zebra in the mountains. That's what Brick's saying. You want to catch a trout, you can't be in the fucking river or in the ocean. Whatever.
They're all over the place. And
Trout are everywhere. Trout are your common fish. I used the wrong metaphor. If you want to get a lion, you can't go to Brazil. Okay?
maybe could.
No,
Jaguar.
Maybe in a zoo, but that's fake, is what he's saying. You want to get a real fucking lioness, you got to fly to Africa. You
don't
got to
know.
look for one in the bushes.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I just find it weird that, like, I've never in my life wanted to do anything because of, like, I mean, maybe I have. I should never say I never have, but, like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, being a short person. I mean, I guess I've wanted to be like taller, but I've never like thought like of like saving my money and working my
Because
ass
it's
off.
physically impossible.
Is it though? Like,
You can't
I mean,
make yourself taller.
I can get stretched out. I
You
can
no,
do
no,
those-
no, no. You can. They cut your leg.
If
They,
it, no,
this
the
bone
only
right
way
here.
the only way they can do it is if you go out into space. You literally grow a half inch.
Let's say there's a
No.
procedure. Let's get
There is a
like,
procedure. They cut your bone in your leg, and they install rods, and they'll stretch your bones
I've
slowly.
never heard of that
So
before.
they'll crack your bone. They'll stretch it. They'll put rods in there, and then your bone will heal over, and they'll do it again. They'll crack it and stretch it, and
Yeah,
they'll
but
keep
then
doing
all
that.
right, you grow a whole foot. Your torso is still tiny.
Your legs
as
will
shit.
just be
Your calves are the only thing that grew, so you look like a fucking weird.
You can say the same
No,
with
you'll
the
just have
breast
really long
implants.
legs.
You say the
So
same with
what?
breast implants. Okay, I'd get some.
So
fucking,
you've never seen good breast implants in your whole life. I have
Somewhat.
seen some immaculate ones that almost make you say, "Are those real or are those fake?"
till you touch them, then you fucking know right up the
How many
bat.
fake titties have you touched?
2.
I touch fake titties all the time.
One on the left side, one on the right side.
Dude, I'm like, do you see a line of people? I'm touching titties left and right. I'm just
No,
like,
dude.
ladies,
I'm just
it's
saying.
a titty inspection. As long as you have a name badge,
The
dude,
reason I also
people
bring that
will
up
accept you.
because like when it happened to me, I had no idea. Like that never crossed my radar. I had like seen little boobies here or there. And I'm like, ooh, boobies, you know.
Yeah.
It's like little fat of flappy skin. This is awesome, dude. And then when I remember the first time, it felt like I was like, well, these are at attention. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't know. I felt like I was like touching pectorials, like fucking someone been doing push-ups and shit. And then the more you start thinking about it, oh my god, this is like fake. This is like stretched out and stuff. And then instantly in your mind, all of a sudden now you're like, I'm finally getting the attention. I'm getting those type of things. It's like, well, that didn't change the fact that you're a bitch. Like, you know, it's like
Yeah, but
that
what you're
doesn't
saying
change
is
in the
that
character.
everybody with fake tits is a bitch and doesn't deserve to have fake tits. And
I
they
feel
should
like-
just love themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the mental ability that they think that anybody who thinks that they need to change something because it's going to make them better or whatever, they're wrong. That doesn't change it. I feel like
So what about amputees? Should they get that fake robotic leg, or should they just slim around because they don't have a leg?
well, that's so different, dude, than like a bitch that wants breast implants. You know, because that's a cosmetic fake thing. It's like, oh, I need to change my nose because I can't breathe. That's one thing compared to someone who's like, I need to change my nose because it doesn't look like Penelope Cruz. Okay, there's a reason we have plastic surgery. That way you can actually breathe and be able to smell your kid's hair for the first time or something, compared to someone that just wants to fucking aesthetically look good in a fucking photo from the left side. You know, I feel that there's an issue mentally, or as in this construction of society, that's there, you know?
I could see that. Because even if they do get that, let's say I want to get my nose fixed because I have a little bridge or whatever, and I don't like it, someone else might like it. That's not the argument here, but the argument here is that in their brain, that little cancer of I need to get rid of this little bridge will be there even after they get rid of the bridge.
It's like with the cleft lip. Like, of course, I could see a kid being like, "Dude, I want to take a drink and have half it fall out of my mouth." That's fucked up, but you know, they don't want that, and so like they do it, and you're like, "Oh, fuck yeah, that's badass." Compared to the girl that's like, "I need to fucking get these things plumped up so I look like I can suck a dick." I mean, maybe I'm picking more on female. I should definitely not do that because I feel like it's more aesthetically between them.
It's harder for men to do it. The only thing men can do is get a dick extension.
Well, like the calf implants. It's like guys that work all the time, skip leg day, and then all of a sudden they're trying to get calf implants. That was on MTV, Chopped or whatever. That was like one of the more eye-opening ones to me. I'm like, fucking lift more legs with your weight with your leg. I only do and nothing changes. Within 5 days or within a year, you know, like 1 year, it's going to change.
Some people actually just have fucking shitty calves. Legit. Same with like people, like if you've ever looked at abs.
So then,
people who have
so then
the
equal
perfect
yourself out.
abs are like 1 in 100,000. People
Spartan?
Yeah, like perfect Spartan abs. Because a lot of people have abs where they just don't line up.
Oh, yeah.
You
So
know what
what?
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some people want to have perfect abs. You know what I'm saying?
I can
it's
see
like
that.
you even no matter how hard you try, you can't always get there. Some people are just naturally gifted, and some people aren't.
Which is crazy, though.
Why do people take steroids in baseball? Why do they take steroids in fighting? They want to be better.
Let's say if you were...
They don't have to be.
Let's say
but
your
they
goal
want
was to be a ninja warrior on that show, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ultimate Ninja Warrior. And your calves were all fucking... Or your...
Which I don't agree with because
Let's say all your muscles were fucking not in the same... What you were saying, like perfect Spartan shape or whatever. But you were in shape. You were a fucking god.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't look like one. Your muscles were a little off and maybe your pecs weren't as big as normal. But you were a god. And some dude had godly-like figure, but he wasn't as dedicated as you. You could still probably kick his ass in it.
Probably.
Maybe. That's why I feel like philosophy is really should, I don't know, be maybe studied more in school because of that same reason. Is like you have that ability to maybe think outside yourself and be like, man, why do we do this? What's the idea of good versus evil? It's the same thing as like that. Like that's a battle in each person's gonna have to take that thing of why they want this compared to why do they want that, or vice versa. And even then, with me like talking all this shit, I should just shut my fucking mouth because it's like I'm definitely speaking for myself. Because who the fuck am I to tell anyone what the fuck they want to do? Because if maybe because it's weird in my brain, whereas I find somebody who wants to go work out and like pump iron for fucking a year and then become big and buff. For me, like that's totally fine. But like if someone were to do it in like an evening, that's wrong. And so that's where I'm like, well, that's the philosophy thing, It's like, well, he just wanted to be big and buff. This person wanted to be big and buff. And in my mind, I'm like, well, this person worked hard for it, and I believe him. When someone does it overnight,
But
I'm
the
like,
other guy,
I don't believe
No,
him.
that's-
but the
I
guy
can see what
overnight
you're
wouldn't
saying.
be buff though. He'd just be big. He wouldn't be buff.
Yeah, but
If you
what
challenge
he's
him
saying
to-
is like when a woman gets from small breasts to big breasts. So you can be buff within a year if you do it all right, but you can't ever grow bigger boobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the physically impossible thing that is
There's
really
got to
weird.
be a way.
Man, I
If you
almost
eat a lot of
maybe.
fatty fruits.
I don't know.
I feel like that would be a weird construction too of like our. I feel like it shouldn't even be after like attacking the girls who want the big breasts. I feel like it should be attacking the society for the reason why they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because it's like, well, I want my shirts to fit better. I
I
want
don't
whatever.
have a problem with small breasts.
It's like, what?
I'm just
Me
gonna
either.
put that out there.
That's what I say. Like, if that's what.
But there's
with
guys
all-
that do.
If you think about the plastic surgery stuff, like
Those
more girls
guys
like,
need to
I
get
got to get my
educated,
nose
maybe.
changed.
Yeah.
You give me. I would just say 5. Pick 5 random guys off the street. Take all these girls, and then if they pick out all the things, one of those guys would be like, "That's fine."
Absolutely. No,
that's
all
fine.
5 of
Yeah,
them
yeah,
would. Because they're on the
Exactly.
street. The guys driving the cars are going to be like, fuck that.
No, not me, dude.
Oh! Zing.
Not me.
Yep. You
I'm
get,
driving
you
my
get a
truck all
bunch
the
of guys
time.
that are driving 1995 Ford Rangers versus 2004 Ford Rangers.
You're
all right?
going to those gold digger experiments where
Exactly.
where I'm like kind of getting on the gold digger side now because I've like flipped. I'm like, man, these gold diggers or whatever. But like I watched this H3H thing where he talked about like the gold diggers. Dude, I feel for them because
But
like
at
these
least
guys
she
will
had
tell
no
them
rope.
like, hey man, come over here and I'm gonna buy you a car. I'm gonna buy you this, and they bring these bitches over and then they don't do any of that, and they're like, man, this girl's a gold digger. Bitch, you told them you're gonna give them this life. You told them you're gonna do this shit.
If I'm walking by some fool's like, hey, Come over here. I'm gonna buy you something. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah, if I'm a millionaire and I'm like a billionaire or whatever, and I like fucking walk up to Demi Lovato and I'm like, yo, dude, I'll get you all that H you need, girl. I'll get you all that hair.
Too soon.
Fucking, it isn't. I'm on Pootie Pie's side on this shit, dude. She shouldn't have done it in the first place, you know. So we can joke.
Nobody should do heroin.
Yeah, it's like what
Unless you really have to.
It's like, what do you
you have
expect
to.
happened, you know? It's like you got this audience of all these little kids. You shouldn't be doing that shit, you know? But at the end of the day,
Sorry, I'm a little drunk.
Yeah, but have you been a fucking crackhead?
no.
PewDiePie.
Not all the
Let's give
way.
him some heroin and see how hard it is for him to reach for the next
That's
one.
right. I always
You
like,
know what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, well, I smoke a
come
lot of
on,
weed,
dude.
but then I think of like Half Baked, where the guy's like, well, I'm addicted to weed, and like this dude stands up, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You ever suck dick for weed? And he was like, well, no.
Yeah.
Boo this man! Boo him! And it was like, boo!
You're sick dick for weed.
It's like, no. Because, you know, that gets to be a hard part, but holy shit, we kind of went running onto this.
Yeah, this is a long.
All right.
episode.
Thanks for listening to the Lost Minds podcast. Sorry
That's how
for
we end it. We just jump
we
off
took
a
a little
cliff.
vacation. People do, right?
Yeah. It's,
People do. It's all right.
say if you heard this sound, shout out to Yeti. They're the sponsor for us. They've been giving
Yep.
us the coolers and everything.
It's actually
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
guys got fucking Yeti. How come I didn't get a Yeti cooler?
This one we got from my brother's boyfriend at Starbucks. Pretty cool. So
Yeah.
shout out to that. But I mean,
Man, I wonder walking around without a Yeti cooler. I gotta
they're pretty
Nothing.
dope. So thank you for Yeti for sponsoring the podcast, and hopefully for many more.
sponsoring Brick and Brian.
Gotta get Admir his. But yeah, man, taking breaks is good, I guess, as long as you get back in it.
Work hard on your biceps, triceps.
Do whatever
quads,
you want to do,
glutes.
all right? But what you got to do is, in the great words of Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you see